Choo choo! Chugga 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 chugga! Ah! Millions are dead!
How are you?
What's good? What's good? How's it going?
I'm alright. I sincerely apologize for like the 2-hour delay. I swear that doesn't usually happen. It's just work bullshit happening last minute.
Nah. It's fine, man. Real
Anyways.
life stuff matters.
Yeah, anyways. Normally the way this goes is that myself and whoever else is on here, we generally just talk about anything, whether it's current or past about the game that we either don't like and or wish could be improved. And a pretty big topic so far, or at least judging from me talking literally just for 40 minutes about the helmet system with Triburos the other day, that seems to be a pretty big one. So do you have anything similar that you don't like about that, or anything else that's been bugging you?
Oh damn, there's a lot of things that have been bugging me about Warframe. It's not only the helmet, and the helmet is of course a new addition to that, and a lot of people have been crying about the nerfs. I mean, it is to be expected. These are very powerful abilities, right? You can't just have them on any other frame. Like, it makes that particular frame who originally had the ability kind of insignificant because there are better frames, and just put that really cool ability on that better frame and shit. Why would you play anything else, right?
Yeah. And
So yeah, that's just.
sorry, go ahead.
And no, so my bad. Just like a lot of people were just angry about the nerfs, and I was like, it's to be expected, you know.
I think, or at least it is true that people are still mad, even though we all saw that coming, because when they I mean, at least going off the initial announcement from TennoCon, when they said that, oh, you're going to be able to give away one ability per Warframe, all of us expected to get the standard, quote-unquote, useless shit, like decoy, slash dash, all that sort of thing. But there were a few surprises in there. Like, for example, we got Chroma's Elemental Ward, even though a lot of people I know, myself included, were expecting it as one. Radial Blind, a lot of people thought we were going to get slash dash, but no, we got that instead. Decoy, obviously that's a given, because there's no way they would give us his invisibility or anything else under his kit.
Oh, that would have been sexy, not gonna lie.
Nah, if they gave us invisibility, the game would have just officially been donezo, because in my opinion, priority of survival goes invisibility, invincibility, armor, everything else.
Actually, armor health doesn't matter at all. Like invisibility, invincibility, or your damage negation, right? That matters a lot more than health and armor.
Very true. But then again, that's just coming from me being someone who just spams Faben all day, fucking Bastille that ignores armor through shred and stuff. But that is a good point still.
About the MR changes with helmets, that was kind of a yikes. I mean, why? Like, I did watch your video, the one with the helmet changes. It was quite funny, not gonna lie. Like the MR requirements, of course, MR doesn't mean shit. Part of my language, but yes, it doesn't mean shit. But for someone who just started the game, let's say MR 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, you have no idea. And one of the things that's been brought up when I was streaming is like some guy who doesn't read. Okay, there's a lot of people who don't read in Warframe. So there's gonna be that one person who's gonna go to the helmet, click a button, keep on clicking it, and accidentally delete his frame, right, that he just got, and he's gonna go, what the heck just happened? You know? There's gonna be like a confirm button, right? Hopefully,
I believe there is. If memory serves me right, besides the obvious thing they put out that, oh, you can't subsume a Prime Warframe, and Prime Warframes are literally just direct upgrades to the regular version. Besides that, I think when Rebecca subsumed the mag on stream, she had to, like, type out the name of the Warframe before actually subsuming it or something like that. Because I don't remember her just clicking a button, that was it. I think she had to do something else. Might have been type something, might have been press another button. I'm not quite sure.
I mean, it's happened like quite a bit. Like some people just like click a button, then they lose something, or they alter, especially when they're rolling ribbons. They didn't know the more you roll, it changes. So yeah. Hopefully, it will be safe for like the quote unquote not new players, MR8s, you know?
By D's own admission, I think they define MR8 as actually experienced players. I think there was a meme going around earlier this week of one of the achievements on Steam for Warframe. It was called No Longer a Rookie, which you apparently get when you get a Warframe to like rank 2.
What?
Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. No longer a rookie. Reach rank 2 with any Warframe. I'm
Are you
reading this.
serious?
I'm reading this directly off the Steam achievements page.
Oh, okay. I mean, first of all, I don't mean to hate on anybody, but when it comes to wording in the game, it's horrible. They say this ability does this, but then it doesn't do what it says. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then for a new player coming in, there's so much stuff they have to learn, know about, Warframe abilities, elemental combination, what element works where, what elements is superior, damage multipliers, all those things, like mission types, like all these little things are not explained. And they would go to, let's say, content creators, like, how to do this, how to farm platinum, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's how we all got started, not gonna lie.
Yeah, basically,
But,
you start out the game and you have so many questions, you end up just alt-tabbing and just keeping a bookmark on the Warframe wiki or Google.
True. And people don't even know a wiki exists.
I know, right? That's weird as hell.
Yes. And there's when people coming like, oh, my favorite YouTuber told me this is how it should be done. Why are you doing it wrong? I'm like, this is how I do it, and this is what makes it efficient, right? If you don't believe me, you can check the wiki. And I'm like, what? Wiki exists? I'm like, yeah. Like they're busy telling me, oh, Slash is so strong. I'm like, yes, it's strong, but what makes it strong is that it's status effect. That's what makes it strong. Like the Slash damage type and the Slash and the status effect from Slash are two different things. So I try to explain these, but they just don't get it. What can you do, man?
I'm with you there. One thing
Yeah.
I really do have the impression that they should be or at least one thing I think they should have on the list of things to do eventually, as in like within the next year or so, obviously nothing urgent, would be to just rework the entire concept of mastery rank, because as it stands, like you said, it doesn't really mean anything, because I've run into both mastery rank 5 and mastery rank 25 players who had absolutely no fucking idea how to work focus or anything like that.
Exactly. There was another thing where the people would, since I'm an Eidolon hunter, I do a lot of hunts. That's my favorite content, right? They see me dashing with my operator. It's like, wait, how are you doing this? How are you dashing so fast, so far? I'm like, oh, I'm combining, Void Flow, Void Siphon, and Mind Sprint, the two Zernric and Neramon together. That's why I can, dash so fast, so far. And then they're like, wait, you can combine focus schools? I'm like, yes, nobody told me this. This is another thing that's not explained in the focus system.
It actually does make me glad that they're releasing the reworked player experience with the
Oh,
core
I would
demos
love to
patch in
see
like
that.
2 days. Because I
Are
think,
they?
yeah, I fucking 99.9% sure they said in Nintendo Live 2020 that they're shipping out the reworked new player experience with Heart of Deimos.
Okay. I'm gonna nitpick that shit. I'm not gonna lie. I will try to create a new account just to see how welcoming and easy to understand the game is with the whole new player experience.
Yeah, doing a quick search, yeah, it is. Just reading off the news page here. Waking up in the Origin system has never looked better. Our new player experience will be launching alongside Heart of Deimos. So yes, it actually is coming. It's not a meme anymore, like we were joking about the Hydroid Prime trailer never coming and stuff like that.
Oh snap!
And I think
Oh,
there was one point, like way in the past, like 2 or 3 years ago, when they said that everyone who already did the old new player experience, which was the Vor's Prize quest and stuff like that, I think they said
Yeah.
that if you already did quote unquote the early stages of Warframe, you can replay the new player stuff if you want to. And if you already
Oh.
did the old stuff, I think they said they would have like a reference or something you would understand, something that would like differentiate you having done the old stuff compared to someone who's doing it for the first time ever.
Oh, that's good. That's interesting.
Don't quote me on that. It's just something I think was said before.
Okay, writing it down. Natalia said this. So
Shit.
no, but that's at least good. But
know.
you know what? This is gonna be another thing that's gonna trigger me as well. This not many people know this, but every single update, they're gonna mess up something in the planes. And that something in the planes are gonna be Eidolon hunts. With every update, there's going to be something wrong.
That's a given.
Last
yes.
time? I mean, just recently with the little Heart of Deimos preview where we got that little thing in our helmet room, right?
Yes.
They messed up Void Dashes. It couldn't proc Amp Arcanes anymore.
Really? I actually wasn't aware of that.
Oh, that was the first thing we noticed.
Then again,
because-
I don't really use Amp Arcane, so
Yeah.
Yeesh.
It was the first thing we noticed. And guess what? With the previous updates, this bug is still here today. Like, it hasn't been fixed. With arcanes, like Warframe arcanes, for example, you know, like
Mhm.
energize, all that.
Yeah.
So for Warframe arcanes, when you activate them while in Arcwing and you get out of Arcwing, the buff duration is still displayed, counting down from like what however many seconds it has, but you do not have the effect.
Oh.
And there's so many Reddit posts about this, but they've gone under the radar. Not like, for example, Arcane Momentum is a reload speed for snipers, right? Reload speed buff. So if you activate this while in Arcane, so for example, the host, the DPS, would be getting the lure. Shooting the lure will trigger the arcane, and then when you get to the Eidolon, right, you want to build up your sniper combo, but of course the buff duration is there, but the buff isn't active. And shooting the Eidolon will re-trigger the buff duration, but you'll still not have the actual buff. So you have to sit there for like a couple of seconds not shooting anything, which can get really annoying.
How long has this been in the game exactly?
Forever.
Jesus.
It's okay, not forever, but for a really long time. Especially, you know, when they reworked Arcanes to be rank 5?
Yes.
Yeah, that's when it was more noticeable. Yeah.
I'm assuming you've been spamming DE's inbox and or mail with this.
A couple of my friend hunters did do Reddit posts. I did do a little, what do you call it? I sent some bug reports when the partner program was a thing, but ignored. So yeah, unfortunate.
That is kind of a smaller problem I have been seeing, not lately, but in the past. Just there's an issue existing in game, and it doesn't really get fixed, even though it's being reported en masse, until someone from DE like experiences it firsthand, like on a stream or something. Because I forgot.
They don't do Eidolon, so they won't notice it.
Yeah, I forgot what it was. I want to say it was either mobile defense of some kind or some cosmetic bug, like a Syndana not being properly aligned. But it was reported.
Oh.
It was reported for ages, and then I think it was Megan who saw it for herself during a prime time, and then like within the next hotfix or so, it got fixed.
There was something, I don't know if this was the same one, but there was an operator cosmetic that wouldn't sit right on the operator. Someone reported it and it got fixed instantly. I'm like, cosmetics get a higher priority than actual game mechanic?
Yeah.
And
why do you think they pushed Tenojin as content?
God, it hurts me so much. It's so much. Those are like one of the few bugs happening in Eidolon hunts. I can list so many. Like, for one, the Terrorless spawning at daytime. You just get the Eidolon spawning out. Let's not forget about lures not coming to you. Or when you here's a simple one. Very simple one. So simple. When you interact with the lure to hold position and park it, right? What is it supposed to do?
Just stay there.
Stay put. Yeah, no, it still follows you, right? And when you stop, right, it will be parked where you last stopped, not where you parked it. Just another like.
I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I don't hunt that often, so I'm not even remotely aware of how absolutely fucking broken it is right now. But the few times I do go into the plains for other stuff, I'm fully aware. I could count for I don't even know how many fucking times not every single time, but like 80% of the time I enter the plains for a bounty or something along those lines. Something I'm supposed to kill, it spawns out of bounds or underground or somewhere I can't reach oh god.
That's the issue now with Vomvalist, right? Vomvalist had a dedicated spawn point. Right, when you force spawn them, right now they're either spawning somewhere erratic, like far away from where it's usually supposed to spawn, or not spawning at all. For example, when the Eidolon is getting up from its rally phase, right? You're supposed to get Vomvalist underneath the Eidolon, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, they would spawn on top of his head mid-air. Mid-air. What are you doing up there? And I showcase these bugs as I stream a lot of hunts, and of course I don't know nothing. And when Warframe, this was a while back, when they raided me while I was doing a hunt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I showed like one of the worst bugs that could happen happened.
And nothing happened, right?
Yeah, nothing. Like there's this bug where when you void dash, right? Go back into your Warframe and then go into Archwing. I don't know how it happens, but it happens, right? You can't shoot an Archwing, right? You can't do anything. You literally can't do anything. And then if you try to exit out of the Archwing, you can't go into your operator. You can't shoot. You can't do anything. You just have to die for it to like go away.
I'm assuming it doesn't work, but does the unstuck command do anything?
Nope.
Figured.
Like and when you want to get out of this bug, right? There are ways to like remove it, like go back into Archwing or summon a K drive, right? So when you do that, right? So that's supposed to be fix it, right? But now you summon a K drive instead of it getting rid of the bug, right? That K drive will bug you out and you'll start falling through the floor infinitely.
Speaking of K drives, do you think that a similar bug such as that will happen for Heart of Deimos? Fucking, I forgot what it was called, but the insects who can ride like a K drive.
Oh yeah, I'm expecting so many bugs. I am expecting so many bugs. Hopefully not as much as Railjack bugs. Those are something else.
That's unanimously agreed upon. Yes.
So please, like, I would rather have you take your time, like release content that's done right. Okay, you can have bugs, sure, 1 or 2, but don't have bugs more. Like you don't have more bugs than there are mods in the game. So just
I don't think I've spoken to a single other content creator or otherwise that has said they would prefer content to come out faster but be less polished over more polished but slower release.
Yes, I'd rather have like polished. Like I come from an MMO background, right? I play a lot of MMOs. One of my favorites is Guild Wars 2.
Oh, I used to play it, but then I moved on to Final Fantasy 14, which I've sold my soul to.
All right, so you would understand.
Yeah.
Right? They take their time, right? I mean, granted, there will be bugs, but they take their time and they release good shit, right?
Yeah.
Now with the whole Corona thing, unfortunately, they couldn't have voice acting within the new Living World stories, but they try their best to release good content with less bugs.
Yeah, Square Enix has been doing a similar thing lately with Final Fantasy 14 and the end of the Shadowbringers expansion.
Okay.
Which
I was actually meaning to play.
I honestly would not recommend playing unless you're like willing to either devote time reading, because unlike Guild Wars 2, not every cutscene is voice acted, so you'll have to read. You'll have to read a pretty decent amount. The start of the game overall is slow, but once you actually get to the expansions, it picks up like really, really well. And
I played until like level 10, but I didn't like it because of the global cooldowns.
Yeah, it's a lot of people don't like that because it just feels slow compared to something else like World of Warcraft.
True.
But they did recently expand on the free trial, so now I think they bumped up the level cap from 35, I think it was, all the way to 60. And they're throwing in the first expansion for free, which is my personal favorite out of the ones we have so far.
Because when I first tried it out, I thought I could try out the Dark Knight. Was it the Dark Knight? I just loved the concept of the Dark Knight. But my friend said, "Oh, you can't do that until you buy the game." I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah, Dark Knight comes with the free trial now.
That's cool. I'll try it out one day, but I'm stuck playing other shit.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, another thing, guys. If you're bored of Warframe, take a break. Don't force yourself to play it. All right. There's a lot of people asking me like, how are you still playing this game? What makes it so enjoyable? Because when I don't feel like playing it, I don't play it. Like just simple as that.
Truer words have never been spoken.
Play something else. There's so many games out there. Free games. If you want to get, free to play games, there's so many out there.
Yeah, As someone who personally doesn't value my own time, at least when it comes to, at least assuming if I'm having fun, literally when I get bored of Warframe, I just move on to Final Fantasy XIV, which is literally just another grindy game, but it has way more shit to do. When I get bored of that, I move on to Remnant of the Ashes, which I recently picked up, and I've been having a blast with it. And when none of those things
Ooh.
work, I literally just hop on TF2 and play.
There you go. Boom. Yeah, you just switch it up. There's another thing I wanted, like, come with Warframe. Like, especially now we know Heart of Deimos is coming on the 25th, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it's not going to become another open world island.
Yeah.
You know, like take a look at Orb Valis. The only reason you would go back to Orb Valis is to farm the Prophet Taker. That's literally it. Well, that's what I do. That's the only thing you'd actually do there. Like, do you need the bounties? Not really. Because if you farm Prophet Taker, you get the standing for both Solaris and Vox Solaris. So, yeah. And Plains of Eidolon, like, what's the only what's the reason that, you know, has you go back to the Plains of Eidolon? If you want to farm Eidolon,
or if you're a new player and fucking the infested tactical alert comes along. I forgot what it was called.
Plague Star?
Yeah, Plague Star.
Oh, there you go, Plague Star. But that's like an annual event. It's not there all the time.
It doesn't even last that long, or sorry, no, it doesn't even take that long to do, if I remember right. Because I remember the first time.
It's fast.
I remember the first time that they released Plague Star, I missed it because I was overseas. Then the second time that they came out with it, I barely got it on like the last day. I expected to be playing Warframe like all day, just trying to catch up on Plague Star. Nope, I was fucking done and ready to go in like less than an hour, if even.
Exactly. Couple of hours, you can buy yourself several Forma and every single Plague Zopart.
I was underwhelmed and pretty surprised, and not in a good way.
Okay, Warframe events are quite underwhelming. Let's not sugarcoat that. Like, the Ghoul Purge is literally just a bounty. A Plague Star, it's just a bounty. Fucking, what else? What other events are there? Fomorian is just a exterminate mission or assassinate mission. One of those. What's the other one? The one with the ciphers. Yeah, the one with the jackal. That's another assassination mission. That's very lackluster.
There was one tactical alert in the past where they unveiled a new type of Grineer, like called the Grineer Nightwatch, which they haven't done anything with at all in years.
I don't know that.
It was.
When was this?
They first came out in the Project Undermine tactical alert, which was when you had to do a thing with Maru. I forgot what it was. And then the second time was, I believe, in Tactical Alert Long Shadow, which I think was the one where you had to defend a Grineer Bailiff for like 5 to 10 waves or something like that.
Oh, snap. I don't know these. I started when they were announcing Octavia.
Oh, so relatively recent, but not too recent.
Yeah. It was a hot minute. Yeah.
Pretty sure this happened before Octavia, actually.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Because there were a lot of things that were just, so new for me. And I don't think I've done much. So yes, speaking about going back to Deimos, hopefully it's not just another island like Railjack, which is just MR fodder, literal MR fodder. You go there to level up your intrinsics and make your Archwing move faster, but you don't even use your Archwing in Railjack. Once you have a couple of mods in your Railjack, you're just in your Railjack. That's it. So hopefully Deimos expands a lot more. Like it's a planet that, I mean, it is alive, but it's a planet, with hopefully sustainable content. I think that's a Warframe stigma right there, not having sustainable content.
How would you actually go about with sustainable content, given that we have Rivens?
Peep this. Eidolons used to be sustainable content, but then Scarlet Spear was introduced. Mm-hmm. Eidolons are the only thing in the game that have you use your focus schools, your amps, like your operator, your Warframe abilities, your arsenal, your weapons, your Archwing, literally everything. But then if you say Prophet Taker, you don't need your focus school for Prophet Taker. You don't even need to use an amp for Prophet Taker. You can just Void Dash. You can change the damage type. But yes, Eidolons are like the only thing in the game that have you use everything. Right, you would go there, you would fight these giant sentient chickens and get these cool arcanes that will better your gameplay, right?
Mm-hmm.
not really better, but just give you, extra added utility like energy regen, some health regen with energized grace, right?
Yeah.
It was sustainable till we got Scarlet Spear, which just made it brain dead easy. You just go in there, sit in a mobile defense, and get free arcanes, which kind of destroyed the whole point of having Eidolons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I only hunt because it's fun. I like the adventure. So if you want something that's sustainable, give us an end goal. That's another one. End game, another stigma in Warframe. All right. So give us something to head towards, like a final achievement, right? That keeps us coming back, right? Let's say there's some sort of boss, right, that rewards you with some super rare mods or a new type of arcanes.
I love that idea, but at the same time, for a fact people will be grinding that to sell it for inflated prices and or flex on other people.
That's another thing. Like Warframe is an MMO, but it's MMO light, hub based instance MMO, but still an MMO, right? You're supposed to have something to grind for, something that's going to be sold for inflated prices because it's that rare item that you've worked your ass off to get. Granted, it's not like super hard. Like this game is not hard, right? But give us something to work for a little bit.
I would argue that the closest thing we ever got to something exclusive that's worth a lot would have been the Prime Chamber mod, which at its peak sold for more platinum than anyone will ever reasonably have in their entire life. And then, as everyone knows, fucking D decided to just throw it into Barokatir, and everyone who is still trying to settle for thousands of platinum got pissed overnight. The Riven Mafia basically shat itself for like the third time this year. Yeah, I mean, I personally found it funny because I never really gave a shit about Prime Chamber since
Same.
I don't use snipers that often. But everyone who did have one and didn't have the smarts to sell it before actually this went through. Oh my god, it was so funny.
Funny enough, now it's a meta in Eidolon hunts. Hey, I mean, things happen, right?
Yeah.
For a reason. But going back to that sustainable content, like let's have a look at some of the bosses. Like I was talking to Nash Prime. If you don't know Nash,
Yeah, I know him. I know him.
So we're talking about bosses and mechanics, and two of the best boss fights in the game are Prophet Taker and the Eidolon hunts.
Mhm.
They require you to know like when to go into your operator, when to use a certain ability, when to swap weapons, like maneuver. All of that is included, right? And those are the only thing that haven't really changed in terms of a battle. And we need something else like that. Take a look at the emissary boss fight in is it emissary? I forgot his name. The one from Derelict.
The regular emissary or Steel Path?
Either one. It still has a mechanic to it.
It does, but honestly, I personally found it incredibly annoying. Mr. Warframe guy brought up the same thing. It was like when clearing the Steel Path, I asked him like, what was like the one thing you hated the most? He immediately said Emissary Steel Path.
Oh, let's talk about Steel Path for a moment then. God
All right.
So disappointed in Steel Path, and I literally gave it a nickname called Still Same Path because
I really don't
I was
blame you.
expecting more.
The only difference I had between Steel Path and regular play was that in Steel Path, I was playing Nyx like 70% more. Otherwise, just running the same fucking Loki for certain missions, Vauban for certain missions, maybe Chroma for certain missions, Nyx for certain missions. That was it.
I just told people like if like people were coming to me, it's like, oh, Steel Path is hard. I'm like, no, it's literally the same thing. Just it's literally sorties. Just pick whatever frame you want and enjoy the game. It's not gonna be the only thing I would say was challenging, slightly challenging, was the Ropa Low list.
Yeah, that one took me a while to clear.
I still haven't done it, but I watched my friend do it, and he was struggling. So I mean the Ropa Low list could have been so much better. Could have been so much better.
I'm assuming you mean in the Steel Path Ropa list would have had brand new mechanics and or things to learn about the fight compared to the regular version.
That's a good point, but like when it was first announced, I was expecting it to be this new like mechanically a fight that's going to require some, knowledge of the game. But it was literally just another assassination mission. Oh, I was so disappointed. That's all I have to say about that. It could have been better, but it's just another star chart boss. So hopefully they revamp, like with this new player experience, revamp some star chart bosses. Look what they did to Jackal. Was it the Jackal?
Yeah, they were Jackal.
Yeah, look at that. That's actually pretty cool. I was really impressed with the Jackal, right? Granted, it's easy, but still, they changed it. Freaking the Sergeant. The Sergeant is still the same.
Yeah.
You just go in there, head tap, it's done. Like there's no mechanic to that at all. Like the little, and what are the other ones? The three little lynxes.
The hyena pack.
The hyena pack. Same thing. Go in, shoot, you're out.
I kind of wish. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna rework Sergeant eventually because it's on the list of things to do that's floating around the Warframe wiki. But I kind of wish that they leave the Sergeant as easy as he already is, just to like sort of have him as a meme, kind of.
I guess, but still, I don't know. I just want something that's gonna challenge us a bit. Like we don't need yes, Warframe is all about the power fantasy, right?
Yes.
Things are supposed to seem mediocre compared to your 8 Forma fucking Vectis, your 1000 Forma Vauban, whatever, right? It's supposed to feel like the enemies are supposed to feel like they're weaklings, right?
I'll have you know it's not 1,000 anymore, good sir.
God damn, really?
Yes. Y'all thought I was joking. I'm not joking.
All right. Okay. So yeah, right. I was demonstrating this the other day how dumb the enemy AI is. It used to be a bit better, but now it's even worse. You can literally go in front of a group of enemies, right? Go invisible. They will forget you're there. Before, right? You go invisible, they will attack that spot, which is good. Right? But people, of course, hated that. Oh, no, it's too hard. They're going to one-shot us. No, that made sense. Like any regular person, right, would attack the same spot you were just at, right? Like, for example, in Overwatch, if you play Overwatch, there's a character called Sombra. She goes invisible, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go invisible in front of someone. What are you going to do? You're going to shoot that same spot, right?
Yeah.
And not wait for like, oh, shit, she's invisible. What can I do? No, you're going to shoot that same spot and get her out of invisibility. So I don't know why they removed that. Now you press Ashes 2 or Loki's 2, you go invisible, they forget you're there. But like if we had something like enemies, make them think on their feet at least. Like they're gonna take cover, right? They're gonna shoot something, but have them do it in a way that doesn't make them feel brain dead. You know what I'm saying?
So essentially reworked / improved enemy AI and behavior?
Yes. Right now we have shield gating. We can abuse the fuck out of shield gating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Hildren is just laughing right now with the concept of dying.
Forget Hildren. Mag. Ash. Korra. Oh my god, Korra. With freaking Brief Respite and Augur mods and Decaying Dragon Key. You abuse the fuck out of shield gating, right? Your shield break, you use an ability that takes a lot of energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instantly regenerate your shields. They break it again, dodge roll to proc rolling guard, use your dome, or use your 2, you CC, you whip, they're dead. It's literally hard to kill some of these frames now, especially spammy frames that use their abilities quite a lot. Like right now, on like let's say about 30% of the frames I use, I don't bother with health or anything like that. I just abuse the fuck out of shield gating. Rolling guard, Decaying Dragon Key, or a Brief Respite, and Augur mods. That's all I do. I don't use primary, just secondary and melee. The strongest combination in the game right now. Use your secondary to proc status effects and literally just tickle the enemy with condition overload. They die. It's disgusting. Like, and you don't even need a Riven for any of these this synergy. Like no Riven at all. It's just the game mechanics as is. Like to prove a point, I did a 5-hour survival run
Mm-hmm.
with revenants. So basically, zero damage taken, no revens on any of my weapons, and just murdered things. I would one shot things. People are like, how are you doing this? You must have a riven. I'm like, no, you don't need a riven. It's just new core melee, new core melee. That's all you need right now in the game to cheese it. Like it's no matter what you do in Warframe, right? You'll be able to cheese everything. Everything can be cheesed in Warframe. So give us something that's gonna make us think on our toes, at least.
Do you think that would be better off actually just going out of the way to improve the AI of the enemies in game, or basically just saying fuck it and just basically doing what they did with Steel Path, but on a much bigger scale? Like, let me think. For example, Payday 2. So the highest difficulty in Payday 2 is called One Down, which, like exactly like the name implies, you can only go down once, and then if you go down again, that's basically it for you. Fucking One Down has enemies. Every single enemy, even the trash enemies, have significantly increased health, damage, and all that shit. I'm talking in like over 500% most of the time. A few increased / different behaviors / spawn points, that sort of thing. But for the most part, they're the exact same thing. And it can be considered difficulty, but at the same time, there's other cheese things in Payday 2, so it kind of becomes moot at the end of the day. But overall, to the average person, One Down is challenging because everyone's so used to run around, not die.
Yeah, that would be really interesting in Warframe. They brought a similar idea to not similar, but like the arbitrations.
I forgot about those actually.
Yeah, I mean it's not really challenging. It's more of an annoyance, especially the drones going in, and you can still cheese that as well. I'm just saying, like, it can get the drones can get a little bit annoying, but it's not hard. You can literally cheese everything still. But if we just had, a little extra spice, it'll make the game a bit more fun,
Infested nullifiers in Heart of Deimos.
Ooh.
I'm just bullshitting. I don't know if they're actually going to do that. If they are, I'm going to cry.
The drain your energy and nullifier abilities. That will be annoying as hell, but still, that's a little spice right there. You would hate to see them, but you would also welcome it. It's like, bring it on. I got this new build just to fight you guys, right?
Basically.
It's another thing about Warframe. Freedom to play how you want, mod how you want. Don't like another thing, right? Just because you watched this one YouTuber, like you watched my build, like, oh, this is the end all be all, but like, no, it's not. Like this is the way I mod and how I play, because I play weirdly, right? You can find someone else who will mod differently and still have the same results. So take your time, read on how the abilities work, test things out for yourself before, saying, oh no, I will not listen to anyone else, blah, blah, blah. This is the way it should be. Done. No, that's not how it works, right? Warframe gives you freedom. Like, use that freedom.
For the most part, yes, but there are times when some mod-related thing becomes extremely meta that DA just steps in and nerfs it. For example, I remember way back in the day, like way before you joined, since you said you started playing Warframe when Octavia came out. Way back in the day when
she was being announced, actually.
Oh yeah, when she was being announced, but this was still like way back in the day. When Carrier was the only Sentinel in the game that had vacuum and no other companions for Sentinels.
Really?
Yes, this was a thing. Like, I'm assuming you've at least seen or heard about the argument for universal vacuum?
Yes.
Okay, so this came from that, because Carrier was the only Sentinel / companion in the game that had vacuum. But anyway, back in the day, Carrier did have vacuum, but people didn't like the idea of having to farm and basically be required to take Carrier just for the vacuum. So what ended up happening was, sometime after DE rolled out augments for the first time ever, they gave Mag an augment for her pole, which is still in the game, called Greedy Pole.
Oh, yeah.
So
I know that one.
The way Greedy Pole functioned originally was Mag does pole, and any loot that is within her peripheral vision would get pulled directly to in front of her, for everyone in the party, not just her. So what people will do in farming something like, let's say, Void Defense way back in the day, Mag would stand right on top of the cryopods that you have to defend, or whatever other objective you have to defend. She would just stand on top of that and just keep spamming pull as Trinity is just feeding her energy with Energy Vampire, and other Warframes are just going around killing, like Mesa, Saren, shit like that. And as everything is dying, loot is just being pulled automatically to the middle because Greedy Pull was just doing its thing. Until eventually DE saw that and they're like, yeah, this isn't fun. We're gonna change that. So then they nerfed Greedy Pull by making it so it still pulls loot. It just now only pulls for the mag. Everyone else has to still go pick it up from its original location.
Oh,
so they
so it's like a client instance thing, like, so it's only for the mag.
basically, yes.
Like, so only mag sees the loot.
Yes.
All right.
So they kill the usage of that entire augment, and so Mag, I mean, it wasn't a direct nerf for her, obviously, because it was an augment, but she lost a little bit of playability because everyone was just running her for Greedy Pull. This, I think, was also around the... No, my bad, this was something else. I was about to say that this was around the time that they also nerfed Mesa's Peacemaker, which was when it was just automatic turret mode.
Oh, 360, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that was a separate time. Another instance was, I think Sabuchi brought it up sometime before, was when Necros's Despoil, I believe it was, whatever his augment is that affects loot, it comboed with Hydroid's Pilfering Swarm, and around the time that DE released / announced the mod drop booster through Prime Access, they nerfed one of those. I'm pretty sure it was... I think I have to look it up real quick. I want to say it was Despoil that got nerfed.
They nerfed like bonus loot when you combine loot frames. That's what
I believe it was just for Necros and Hydroid, though. This was also around the time that Korra had Pilfering...
But who uses Hydroid, though?
I don't know, Hydroid's loot frame, I guess. But this was around the time that Korra's Pilfering Dome augment also came out, and it worked fine. They just intentionally went after Hydroid and Necros. I don't know if they reverted it or not, but something that was already in game, they just nerfed it like almost immediately after they came out with mod drop boosters.
Yeah, they reverted that. I mean, but the only thing to use mod drop chance boosters only for farming endo.
True.
That's the only. That's it.
And there are indeed times when they are like 100% justified in nerfing stuff, like when they nerfed Maiming Strike because everyone was running it on Slide Attack Atarax builds.
Yeah, I was one of those guys. I'm not gonna hide that.
I don't blame you.
It made shit easy. Just go in and exterminate Fisher, press 2-1 volts, spam Slide Attack. It's done, easy. Now we just have to press an extra button to kill things, but other than that, it's still the same. We're still clearing it at the same pace.
Yeah, and on the topic of nerfs, one thing I absolutely don't understand is why haven't they nerfed Octavia?
Ooh.
Okay, I don't know. I'm assuming you like her.
I mean, I love Octavia, but the thing is, I don't like playing her all the time.
Boring?
It's not because she's boring. It's because boring for my playstyle. There we go. Okay, shit.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right. There we go. Granted, she was like one of the frames I did use for one of my longest runs in endurance. I was just like, at that point, I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna get banned for this? Because it was just too easy. Press 4, press 1, spam crouch.
Yep.
Right. That's it. Shoot your. I used the Torrid to strip armor and spread all those corrosive procs, corrosive ticks. And that's it. And enemies just kill themselves on the freaking mallet with your amp adding the damage. That was so cheesy. Not gonna lie.
It's been that way for Octavia since her release. It's literally just turn on 3, spam crouch, you win the game, congratulations, because nothing can kill you. I'm aware that Warframe is a power fantasy, and that kind of brings up the argument of like, how strong should a Warframe be? Because if we just say fuck it, let a Warframe be overpowered because it's a PvE game and who cares about balance, if we're really gonna bring that up, then that would imply that we would bring back a lot of things. Like we would bring back the old Mesa, which, in case you're not aware, the way her Peacemaker used to work was you turn on 4 and Mesa would just shoot literally any enemy within range. You didn't have to aim at all. It was literally just press forward. That was it.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Mag, way back when farming fusion cores was a thing, her shield polarize was absurdly good at killing Corpus, and she was pretty meta at farming fusion cores because of that fact that you could just build for power, range, and strength, spam 3. You could effectively clear rooms of Corpus just with a single button press. That got nerfed.
Nice.
Trinity, she originally,
Yep,
her blessing, which has been nerfed for over the past few years.
Oh, you're talking about the blessing. I thought you were talking about the nuke Trinity, where you would rat proc yourself.
No, I was referring to the blessing Trinity, which I don't remember if it was she gave invulnerability or just 95% damage reduction. Because I know that they nerfed it down over time to now it's at like max 75%, but I don't remember if it was originally just pure invincibility or just like, oh, hey, you're like 99% damage reduction.
But still, Trinity is still a really good, the best support in the game.
Yes. It kind of confused me a little bit. I think it was in TennoCon 2017, that one guy on stage who proposed to his girlfriend or whatever, right after he did that, his question to DE was, have you ever considered nerfing Trinity because she's too easy to play? I mean, I understand where he's coming from because it's like, oh, herder, you fucking push 2 on an enemy, you get energy for free, but by that logic, wouldn't you also nerf Loki? Because it's push 2, enemies can't see you, you win.
The thing is,
Stuff
Loki
like
just has his 2 and his 4 going for him.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else. Like 2, you go invisible. 4, enemies can't shoot at you. It saves you from getting shot across the room. He doesn't have, like, this is another thing. There's a lot of Warframes that have garbage abilities. Literal garbage poo-poo abilities.
I'm aware.
But we don't rework, and that's another thing that pissed me off about Helmet. It's like, why not rework the Warframes that need help? But you're giving us, this Helmet. You can just change the shitty abilities on the Warframes that you like. Basically, it's like leaving it up to us to rework the frames.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you just help the frames that need help? Take a look at Valkyr's 1. Like it's utter trash. It's memes, but it's trash. Chroma's 1. Trash, right? Mirage's 4. It scales off duration and it drains over time. So just imagine if you had a very high duration, right? Even if you had good efficiency, it's still gonna drain the more you leave it open. Leave it active. And Inaros, a frame that I really don't like.
His tornado thing?
Is basically him as a frame completely. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, he needs work. He needs a lot of rework. His 2 is useless. His 3 is useless. He's only good for his 4 and his 1. And he has no shields. So when you get to a certain point, if you're doing long survivals, oh, he's the most immortal. No, he's not immortal. He will die. I dare you to do like a mission with 0 damage taken as Inaros. It's impossible. You will die. He doesn't have shields, right? Having a lot of health, all that, like some armor, scarab armor, is not going to protect you, right? Even with Grace is not going to save you from like millions of damage from a high level enemy. So yeah, there's so many Warframes that need a rework, like desperately need a rework.
Yeah, I was kind of joking on Twitter when I said that, oh, hey, they're nerfing all these quote-unquote good abilities with the Helmet system. Like, they're nerfing Warcry, they're nerfing Larva, they're nerfing Eclipse, shit like that. I said, oh, hey, they're nerfing Warcry. I guess Valkyrie mains can be happy a little bit that Valkyrie is not so useless anymore.
Wow.
Because let's be real, all she has going for her right now is Warcry. That's it.
True.
But
and sometimes you're poor.
I would say the reason, or at least maybe the reason why they're giving us the ability to replace one ability is because it's easier to just let the players fucking take whatever one ability they want instead of devoting the time to fix one Warframe. Because you know that if they rework one Warframe, you're going to piss off some of the people that like something about the old kit, or you're going to inadvertently, accidentally make it overpowered, kind of like they did with Limbo by giving him stasis.
I mean, you can have a rework, but still do a really good job. Take a look at Wukong, right?
Oh, his rework was amazing.
He's not immortal anymore, but still, that was a really good rework.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nezha, really good rework. Right? Amber, that's a decent rework. Not the best. It's kind of annoying, the health drain, but it's a good rework. right?
Yeah.
And another frame that needs a desperate rework, and a new frame to be
Grendel?
Grendel. God.
I just guessed it because I don't remember if it was him that told me, but I think it was Triburos that told me that Grendel needs a rework or something like that.
Oh, he desperately needs one. And basically he contradicts himself. People be like, "Oh, you just don't like him because you're round." Like, what? It has nothing to do with it. His first ability, right? You eat something. Okay, that's okay, right? But when you eat something, right? The more enemies you have, the more energy you lose, regardless of your efficiency, right? Even if
Hmm.
you have high efficiency, the longer you keep him there, the more you lose. And guess what? His other abilities require you to use energy. There's that. And guess what? If you now, since with shield gating, if you're running, let's say, rage or hunter adrenaline to convert the damage taken to health, right? That's gonna have a hard time triggering because Grendel has shields and is gonna get shield gating. It's gonna take him time to get that energy back. So it's really, really, really hard and annoying to play him. His fourth ability makes him useless. You can't defend yourself when you're in that ball state. His biggest weakness was stairs, and they had to give him an augment just for him to like bounce higher. Why?
Because Band-Aid fixes have been a thing for a while, unfortunately.
Like no, we like if you're gonna make an augment for an ability to work a certain way that ability should have worked that way, why don't you just rework the Warframe and give him a better augment?
Band-Aid fixes are just easier. Kind of like how it's easier to just basically say fuck it and just throw a bag full of abilities to the players that they can swap out at will than actually just rework a Warframe.
And I wish augments had either a different slot, like different mod slot, or augments worked.
That's a
I don't
thing
know.
too.
Yeah.
I say this on an almost constant basis. I love the idea of an augment slot, but it's something that realistically speaking, DE is not going to do unless they actually either rework every single augment in the game or buff the ones that are trash. Because we all know for a fact
Yeah.
that if they outright gave us a slot just for augments or something along those lines, everyone's
Mhm.
gonna slap on the augments that are actually like god tier, like Eternal War for Valkyr, Tesla Bank
Yep.
for Tesla Nervos on Vauban, Negation Swarm on Anaros, Chromatic Blade on Excalibur. It's literally free real
True.
estate if they do that, but they're not gonna do it because they know that they're gonna fuck over balance even more.
I mean, they're basically gonna fuck over balance now with these subsuming helmet abilities.
As it shows,
Even
yes, they're nerfing most of the quote unquote good abilities we're getting.
even if you nerf these abilities, they're still very strong abilities. Put a good ability on a better frame, you're gonna do a lot of work to a point where it's like, what's the point of going back to the other frame? I mean, if you love the other frame, sure, yeah, but to take a look right now, regardless of how they're gonna change Roar, if you put Roar on the meta of all meta Eidolon Hunters right now, which is Volt, he is gonna be unstoppable.
I have a
Volt,
feeling that they're gonna cut it in half. They're at least gonna cut it in
regardless,
half, maybe more. But yeah, I do
even
agree with
if,
that.
even if they cut it in half, Roar is multiplicative damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Shock Trooper with Volt, that's additive, right? You have your speed, right? You have your shields, and then if you replace the fourth ability, you put Roar in there. That's the best Eidolon Hunter, period. You don't need anything else unless they make another frame which is similar or as strong as Volt right now. And there's no point in nerfing Volt because he's only good at specific things.
Yeah.
Oof, it's gonna be something else with this helmet. Like, oh, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
It's not the first time. Well, just hypothetically speaking, if Volt actually turns out to be nuts when the actual helmet system drops, it's not the first time that they would talk about nerfing something just because it's good suddenly. Like, for example, the Amesha Warframe, which they released all the way back in Spectres of the Rail, which was in 2016. No one really cared about it when it first came out because people were like, oh, a new Arcwing, that's that's cool, I guess, because this was back when no one gave a shit about Arcwing, until eventually when they started making more and more content featuring Arcwing, such as open world stuff, and not just open world stuff, but also Railjack. Eventually, that was a big one. Railjack. People went back to the Amesha because everyone remembered. Oh, wait, the Amesha doesn't let you die because it has an ability that can basically function as a decoy that heals you. It slows down literally everything that's near you. It has
Yeah.
damage reduction that functions kind of like Null Star, but not really. And it
It
has
was-
an ability that straight up makes it so all damage you take is converted into energy. They made an Arcwing that can do all that, and everyone ignored it until Railjack came out because it cheesed the shit out of Railjack. And when the DE realized that everyone was using Amesha because it was cheesing Railjack, they were talking about nerfing it.
And guess what? Instead of nerfing the Arcwing, they just made Railjack easier.
Yeah.
And now you don't even need to use Arcwing. So we're back to square one.
And it's kind of dumb because literally the patch history of the Amesha the Amesha Arcwing, there's only two entries. There's the first one, which is when it was introduced, and there's the latest one, which is from update 27.3, which was just a bug fix.
Wow.
If they
But still,
actually
why
nerfed
would
it,
you use any other Arcwing though?
yeah, it is true that most people weren't using other Arcwings, but if they actually nerfed it, that would have been a nerf given to something they literally haven't touched in over 4 years.
Just because it got a rise.
Yeah, just because it got a
in-
rise,
in a small niche like why?
basically.
Like Scarlet Spear, they fucked over Limbo just because he was good at his fucking job.
Yep. It was their fault for making Limbo as he is, honestly. They should have had some foresight when they said... They really should have had some foresight when they said, we know that Limbo is kind of a troll frame right now, so to make him better, we're going to give him the ability to pause enemy AI that's in the Rift. We see absolutely nothing wrong coming from this.
The thing is, nobody used him until sorry, people did use Limbo, but nobody used him as much until Scarlet Spear,
Mm-hmm.
right? Contagion saw a rise in usage because of Scarlet Spear.
Another
Like,
instance of... Oh man, Scarlet Spear. You're giving me PTSD right now.
God, I hate that event so much.
I have not met a single person that actually liked Scarlet Spear. Which is a shame, because most operations we have in Warframe, or at least the ones I've played through, have been fucking impeccable most of the time. Like, scrolling through the fucking list right now of all the events and shit we had before. Operation Hostile Mergers, which is the one we had when Disruption came out. That was fun. Operation Plague Star. Boring, sure, but the first time you run it, it was a thing to do. Operation
But it was
Ambulance
really rewarding,
Reborn,
yeah.
which was when they made the Groffit meme and all that shit. That was fun, and I really liked the aesthetic they were going for with Synthwave and all that shit. Operation fucking... What was it? Oh yeah, 2-Bit of Regor. That was my fucking favorite one, because this was...
I don't know that one.
This was basically back when they introduced the Grenier C-Lab tile set. And so they were doing a little...
Okay.
This was sometime after they came out with the Infested Alad V boss fight. And it was kind of a lore thing where they basically said, okay, so the event basically boils down to Infested Alad V is... He realizes he fucked up by letting himself get infected by the infestation. He wants you to break into Tilregor's lab to find a cure. But Nefanyo comes to you and says, fuck Alad V, I will pay you if you don't do that and just let him die instead. And so the event boiled down to, do you side with Alad V and find a cure to save his life, or do you side with Nefanyo and fuck it, just kill Alad V? And as you can expect, everyone sided with Alad V because one, I guess he was a more likable character back then, since this was way before Fortuna came out, and two, because if I remember right, Alad V offered a better reward for taking his side because Alad V had the Carrick Wraith and Nefanyo had the Dara Vandal.
Oh, so this was like introduction to invasions, pretty much.
Kind of. I want to say invasions were a thing before this event. I don't know. I don't remember very well. I just know that this happened when they came out with the Grenier C-Lab tile sets for the first time, and this was, I think, one of those few tactical alert one of the few operations that actually had some tie into the lore. Because obviously, if everyone sided with Nefanyo, fucking Infested Alad V would kind of just be reworked into something else, and the Mesa boss fight would have gone completely different.
Shit, that's nice. Like, if we had something like that, like
Baba Booey.
yo, what's so yeah, if we had something like that in Warframe where our choices mattered and it would actually change our own path, like the whole War Within thing, like
The light dark
Uh,
thing, yeah.
yeah,
They
but
haven't done
that
anything
didn't
with
go
that.
anywhere. That literally went nowhere. It's like it didn't matter what you picked.
How much you want to bet that it's gonna matter somehow when they eventually come up with Duviri Paradox? Like, oh, you remember these choices you made years ago? Yeah, they have an effect now.
I mean, that would be cool. That would be really cool. Like if we had factions in factions in freaking Warframe. You know, that would be interesting.
What
where we
about
would
syndicates?
fuck those guys. No, like actual Tano factions. Like I remember I watched this one video of yours where you were talking about a PvPe.
PvEVP?
Yeah, like Gambit, but Warframe style.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember that. I remember that.
Really like that video. Like I was like, holy shit, that would make sense because I love PvP, and there's only a few games that do it right. And what do you call it? Conclave has so much potential, but it's fucking Conclave. Nobody cares.
Yeah, no one
Right.
actually cares.
Yeah. So if we we need to have an incentive to do things in Warframe. Like that's the only reason we do certain things because we want something from them. Do you need the only thing you would want from Conclave is the Sandana, right? But does it light up? No, you'd have to do dailies for it to light up, which is kind of like why I just did this to get this fancy looking Sandana, but now I'd have to do more of this boring stuff just to have it, look good.
But with Warframe being the power fantasy it is, what would you actually throw in there to incentivize people? Because we already have Rivens, obviously. So if you really want people to like 24/7 play this shit all day to encourage them to do it, it would, in my opinion, have to be something that affects their damage output. Because way before Rivens came out, before Rivens came out, I remember people were actually like running Eidolons 24/7 just to farm arcanes,
Oh yeah.
and that just kind of died out like raids.
Oh, raids. I remember when I first started playing Warframe, right? I loved Law of Retribution. Not gonna lie. I was a Vauban Trinity main, right? EV Trin and Vauban Bastille spam. That was my shit, right? And Law of Retribution. Like it had something, to achieve. Like you would work so hard. Well, we cheesed it in the end, but again, we had this nice team coordination, right? We did this, we did the plate things, like all these things to get cool looking cosmetic or an arcane, which sold for a lot of plat. So if we had something like that, like doesn't even have to be a raid, simple as dungeons or in a way strike missions or have you ever played Borderlands 3?
I have not.
Okay, they have this thing called a takedown, right? It's similar to a raid, right? You would go to this node, right? You would fight these mobs, and you would fight a boss. After that, you will carry on fighting mobs, right? And then you will get to another boss. And all these encounters have a mechanic to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
First one, kill these sentry turrets to get the gates to open. Once you get to this place, kill a certain amount of enemies to get the first boss, right? That's a gatekeeper, right? Kill that boss, and it leads you to a bigger boss, right? That has a fun mechanic and phases and basically a great fight. So if we had something like that in Warframe, it would be so much fun. It would be really fun.
I think I suggested something like that, but without the boss fight at the end, a way fucking long time ago. But it was related to syndicates. I think what I said was make syndicates more interesting by letting them give you like actual shit to do. Like for example, let's say you're allied with fucking Steel Meridian or something like that. They would give you a quest that would be like, we need you to go to this specific node and find some things for us. So you would start out doing a spy mission. You do the spy mission. You pack all 3 vaults. Then, oh wait, it turns out in the 3rd vault you just had, there was some super secret squirrel shit we didn't know about. Now we need you to go over here and get something for us. So that eventually leads to you either staying in a mission but moving on to a different objective, such as defense, or going to a completely different node and then doing defense. And then you fucking do your defense or whatever the fuck, and then they say, oh hey, while you were doing this, one of our guys got captured, we need you to go rescue him. And then that turns into a rescue mission, either on the same node or somewhere else, and it would just go on and on from there. And eventually it would end with you either learning something new about the Syndicate that's actually lore related and not just a one-off thing, or you receive some exclusive Syndicate loot, like the Syndicate weapons we have that are kind of useless now.
Not all. They're still good.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Good. Yeah. But
the most part,
that'll be something similar to what I was talking about Takedown, but of course integrated into the Warframe game modes and playstyle. Like that would be so much fun, like really fun. Like instead of getting these garbage immortal skins, we can get something like a Syndicate skin. Like if you're part of the Syndicate, you can only have that's the only way you can get this particular skin. Or let's say, this is another thing that I really wanted, a mod set that worked with your aura and Warframe and weapons. We have something similar called like the tech mods, but they're only useful with Ivara. But like a new like mod set that you can only get by doing these particular strike missions or takedowns. It'll be so cool, right? Because you're getting better gear, better loot to do more damage. I mean, that's the whole idea. You get better shit to be powerful in Warframe. So give us something to do.
But at the end of the day, I feel like really all they can do to incentivize people to do end game content, quote unquote, is either just throw out new arcanes to grind for that are actually worth grinding for, and not just random shit like Arcane Arachne or fucking Arcane Arachne.
That's a good one, man.
That or fucking something along the lines of power enhancing like Riven mod, or just flat out just free Riven mods. Fuck it. Because I mean, exclusive cosmetics are nice, but nobody's really going to give a shit about cosmetics unless you're a completionist, the kind of person who's willing to brag about having an exclusive cosmetic, or you're just really, really into Fashion Frame.
To be honest, here's another thing. Riven mods, I don't think they should be in the game anymore.
Oh yeah, they're a mistake for sure, but they can't do anything with them now.
There should be a way like an enchanting system or upgrade system of your weapon. This brings me back to a game an MMO I used to play back in the days called Aeon, right?
Sounds familiar.
Korean MMO, yeah. You guys don't know grind unless you played Aeon. So if you're saying, Warframe is grindy, you don't know shit. Anyway, so we would get these on this one patch where we brought us to the level 75 camp, right? They introduced this new system of enchanting, right? Mm-hmm. So we would upgrade our weapon using these rare stones. But each level of enchantment, basically, it's a risk and reward type of thing, right? So the higher you go, the more chances you have of it getting better and destroying the weapon at the same time. Mm-hmm. So if you succeed, it gets stronger than it was before. If you fail, it completely destroys that weapon or a piece of armor. So I'm not saying we should have this in Warframe, but give us, instead of having Rivens, I would say get rid of Rivens, but give us a way to like upgrade or enchant our weapons to be stronger. And depending on what type of stones or but there's endo to make your mod stronger, they should have like something new to make your weapon stronger. So you put this like a rare stone or arcane that you get from this epic boss battle or Eidolon you do, right? And you enchant it into your weapon and it increases your crit chance, right? You farm this other boss, etc., it increases your overall damage. You farm so-and-so, it increases your range, right? And you can only have three of these stones equipped, right? And the more you add on to these points, something on your weapon like gets reduced. Same thing as Rivens, 3 positives, 1 negative. So for example, the more you increase your crit damage, range, an attack speed, right? You lose out in, let's say, damage to a particular faction, or you lose a damage type, like negative impact, because who likes impact, right? So something like that. Instead of Rivens, give us this type of method. This will be pretty fun to do, right? People will be grinding these bosses to get these rare stones or whatever, right? And we'll be putting into our weapon to give us that bonus CCCD, MS, negative, whatever on our freaking Rubico or Vectus, right? And some weapons can only be enchanted to a certain level. This will be like dispositions. So let's say right now the highest dispo is Omphis. So it could go to, for example, to +10 bonus stats, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for a Stropha, new weapon, 0.75 or 0.5 dispo, it can only go to a +2 or a +3. Something like that.
That does sound appealing, but you know for a fact that at this point in the game, they can't just say, no, never mind, and pull the plug on Rivens, because not only would that destroy the entire Riven economy, even though it's a fucking mess,
It should.
It would absolutely fucking destroy the Riven economy if they just completely deleted Rivens from the game. Oh, I'm assuming you mean when you say remove Rivens, literally every single Riven everyone owns, remove it too.
You could keep it as a let's see, a novelty item, or you can destroy that Riven into, like, you can transmute that Riven or dissolve that Riven into these new stones that you, or whatever they are, to enchant that weapon.
But anyway, yeah, assuming that they actually deleted all Riven mods, obviously that would completely dismantle the fucking Riven mod economy, and
Not gonna lie, I would laugh my ass off.
I would too, because honestly, I don't like the Riven Mafia or the Riven economy, but I'm the kind of person who just says fuck it and I just abuse it anyway because it's honestly free real estate. It really is.
Like I mean, I'm still crying for my Vectus. I really want my CCCDMS negative. I'm still rolling.
Yeah. Besides, at this point, late in Warframe's lifespan, even if they actually did have the balls to pull the plug on Rivens, even at people who don't really give a shit about Rivens, I imagine they'd be a little bit, not upset, but concerned, because it's not often that DE just fucking pulls the plug on things that have been around for ages. So, for example,
Fusion Cores.
Yeah, Fusion Cores, that was a thing for a while, then it got removed. Raids, they were a thing for a good year or two, then they got removed because quote-unquote bug fixes or whatever, still fucking MIA. Coming soon, the Void Derelict. Technically, it's just being moved into Deimos, but the region of Derelict in the star chart is being removed altogether, even though it's technically being moved into Deimos. Yeah. Shit like that. Most of the time, they just nerf stuff. They don't remove anything outright. Removing something as significantly affecting as Rivens would be weird, to say the least.
I mean, if it will happen, they would do it in a way that's gonna have some impact, but hopefully they'll try to minimize that impact,
Also, a little bit off topic, but the game I played previously before I came to Warframe had an enhancement system similar to the one you're describing from Aeon, but it was significantly more pay to win.
Oh yeah, Aeon was pay to win. Like these stones that you use to enchant, you could buy them off the cash shop.
Yeah, like same thing.
And like freaking thousands of euros just to get like a +20 weapon, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
What I'm talking about is a dead as fuck RPG called C9, which is short for Continent of the Ninth Seal. The way enchanting weapons there worked was literally any weapon, accessory, or piece of armor in game, regardless of rarity, anyone could theoretically enhance it all the way to +20. That was the max for every single item in the game. However, every successive time you enhance something, the chance of successfully enhancing goes down, and the chance of failing and either breaking the item and losing everything you invested into it, or just breaking the stone you're using would increase. So, for example, if you wanted to...
Sounds exactly like Aeon,
Yeah, so let's say you wanted to fucking upgrade your weapon to, like, +3, You could do
Yeah.
that very easily. Your shit would not break
Mhm.
at all. However,
Yeah.
if you were the kind of person that had the money laying around and try to go for something like plus 10, there would be a very, very, very good chance you would most likely have your shit break and lose all the money you put into it. However, to kind of counterbalance this, of course they put in stones in the cash shop that you can use when enchanting, and it would basically negate your item breaking. You would just lose the item instead. So it basically boiled down to either grind your ass off and enhance everything you have and pray it doesn't break, or just pay us outright and we'll guarantee it doesn't break. We're not going to guarantee you will get what you want. We're just going to guarantee your stuff won't break. And
Oh, they had this thing where you would pay for this powder, this enchanting powder, which gave you 100% chance of succeeding.
oh god, even we didn't have
Yeah.
that.
So when people got to the whole plus 15 stage, right, they would just spam this powder, right, which cost like 10 euros for just for like half of what you need. It was so ridiculous.
Oh my god.
I saw people like when you saw someone like because when you get it to plus 15 or plus 20, it will be announced in map chat, like region chat, like it would just like ping everyone like so and so succeeded in enchanting this weapon to plus 20, right? And you would know this thing is plus 20 because its appearance would change, right? It would have a glow, right? And an ability on top of that.
Oh god.
So you would say this motherfucker, pardon my language, this dude sunk in a lot of money to get his gear where it is. And guess what?
What?
Few patches later, all of that was irrelevant. They completely changed how gear works. So all that shit that you've just done to make your weapon, your gear strong meant diddly squat, right? They changed how gear works, how you get gear, and how you enchant gear. So I feel sorry for the people who spend so much money to get their shit plus 20. And funny enough, a lot of people quit just because of that.
Even people who aren't whales quit?
Dude, they got so angry. I was just
Jesus.
laughing my ass off because I left the game because it got way pay to win, but I was just laughing my ass off at all these people who spent so much money and they got shit.
The pay to win in C9, it got so bad that, at least to my knowledge, in any server out there, even the foreign ones like the one in Thailand and the one in Brazil, the highest any player in any server ever has, the farthest they've enchanted any of their weapons has been to plus 12.
Oh snap!
Not even the GMs have gotten to plus 10, because you'd think all the GMs would just get free plus 20. No. They play the game like everyone else. Even they couldn't get past plus 10. So literally, those rare motherfuckers who were running around with shit that was plus 11 and plus 12, they were the ones who were like the 1% of the 1%.
And guess what? Having this plus 20 or plus 15 gear mattered because it did increase your damage.
Mhm.
Right? Not only like you enchant armor and accessories. So accessories, guess what? They gave you increased PvP attack.
That's a problem.
Armor plus 20 gave you increased PvP defense.
Very big problem.
Yeah. So these dudes, like, they were the shits.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. If they had something like this in Warframe, it would fuck over the game, but
Yeah, especially because it's a casual power fantasy. And I mean, personally, even though I think it's retarded, I personally would be fine with it because, like I said before, I'm a fucking whore and I chill out for the ribbons all the time. So, personally speaking, I'll be fine with that. However, I know that this being a free-to-play game and a lot of people being casual, they would not be fine with that. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Putting that in Warframe would be a fucking terrible idea.
oh yeah. So I still want them to change the whole ribbon system and turn it in and make it into something that you can gradually upgrade over time. The more time you spend in the game, the more you farm for these items, you can increase your weapon's damage, your Warframe's abilities. It would make sense. So it'll give us that sustainability in Warframe. Not people who basically play the game and stop until a new update. When a new update launch, all the people come, mess up the servers, right? Make Warframe seem like, oh, it has a lot of players, but no, they're just coming back to see what the new update is. And when they find out it's buggy as hell, they leave.
That's exactly what happened with TennoCon. Like, judging off Steam charts right now,
Mhm.
when they showed off, or at least when TennoCon / Tenno Live 2020 was happening, active player count in Warframe fucking spiked, like, all the way to 154,000, like, just in-game alone, whereas in the Twitch stream, it was, I think the peak on the Twitch stream was like 350,000, give or take. It might have been 250,000, but in game was over 150,000 people that were active, and that was just that same day because the DE was doing that thing
Inflating
like
numbers.
yeah, DE was doing the thing like, oh yeah, if you're in game in the relay right now, you get like this free drop or whatever the fuck. So naturally, everyone logged in to get the free shit, and also
It's
because
smart.
the
really
shenanigans that was happening in the relay, like, oh yeah, if you're in the relay right now, you get like a little special view of the upcoming Heart of Demo shit, which was also really cool. But immediately after Tenno Live ended, just the player count just dropped back down to fucking 60,000.
Damn.
I mean, it's smart. It's just fucking. It just kind of proves that people just care about having stuff to do. If there's nothing to do, they're just gonna go back to other games.
True. That's why, like, going back to what we were talking about earlier on, take a break. Like, you don't have to play the game every day. You can log in every day for your free rewards, but if you don't feel like playing, don't force yourself to play. You know?
Grind is content. Everyone knows it.
It's funny. Like, Warframe grind isn't grind. Like, I've experienced grind to a point where it's just disgusting. Let's go back to Aeon once again, talking about grind here. When they introduced patch 5.0, right, the level cap was level 75. And it would, like, people who didn't pay for XP boosters would take them months to get to level 75. Months.
Jesus.
Pay to wins motherfuckers, right, would buy these experience scrolls, and it took them a week to 2 weeks. That long, not even days, a week to 2 weeks just to level up, because
Was this like a flat amount of experience given, or was it a percentage boost, like 50%?
it was a percentage boost.
How much was it?
Like 200.
What
and
the
300.
fuck? 200?
Yeah.
Jesus. Korean MMOs are fucking whack.
Yeah, and the experience needed was beyond ridiculous. Like, their whole thing was like, we're gonna bring back this game to how it was back in, patch 2.0, where you had to struggle to get to this level, and gear would only matter for your particular level. So yeah, so you would have gear level 70, 71, right, 68. That will be good for that level, right? And it will help you for the next 1 or 2 levels. But once you get, like, if you have, like, let's say if you're level 75 but you have level 68 gear, you'll get one shot. So if you didn't farm your ass off, right, to get to max level, to get the max level gear, you're basically just dying easily. It was so scuffed.
Why did people put up with this?
Because it was like that was the game that they had. They loved the game, and they were just, they just wanted to feel powerful, and they had the fucking money, right?
Yeah.
This game hurt me a lot. Thank God I don't play it anymore. But yeah. And a funny thing is, whenever I started a new MMO, whenever I started a new MMO, I would compare that MMO to Aeon. Right? When I played Elder Scrolls Online, I was like, it looks weird. When I played Guild Wars 2, right? Thank God I fell in love with Guild Wars 2 on the get-go. Like, it changed MMOs for me completely. Now, whenever I compare anything, it will be to Guild Wars 2. Because Guild Wars 2 did it right.
I had that first impression with Guild Wars 2 as well. I just kind of stopped playing a little bit after the Path of Fire expansion came out. And then I just, like, completely dropped off the face of the earth from MMOs for a while until I eventually got the balls / stupidity to try Final Fantasy XIV, which I've been playing on the side ever since, and I 100% regret doing so.
Dude, if you like the game, you like the game. You can't help it.
No, that's the thing. I like the game. I just can't stop playing. There's so many other things I want to play, but I can't because there's shit in Final Fantasy I have to do.
True, it makes sense. Like I had to take a break from Guild Wars 2 as well. Just recently, I just finished crafting my final legendary armor. I got my Envoy's Herald title, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna take another break now. It takes a lot from you, like the grind to get. That's another thing. Legendary items in Warframe. If we had that, the grind for that, it would be so damn good. You know, let's say like a legendary, like you have Prime Warframes and Prime weapons.
Mhm.
Now, what about a legendary version?
A legendary Warframe? I don't know how I feel about that. A legendary weapon? It depends on how it's done.
Yeah, like Borderlands. Take a look at Borderlands. Every single, I would again with RPG shooters, I always go back to Borderlands. Borderlands, they have this awesome way of introducing legendary weapons, right?
Mhm.
Let's say this one SMG from the same manufacturer, right? So if you compare this to a Grenier weapon, right? Let's say
Mhm.
Hyperion, Corpus, Hyperion, right?
Yeah.
Every Corpus weapon, they have a look to them, right? They're techie, they have electricity, or they just mostly look the way they look, right?
Yeah.
So now Hyperions have that same aesthetic, right, going for them. But since they're legendary, right, each of them will have a different firing mechanic, different types of bullets. Let's go back to Borderlands 2. There was a legendary shotgun called the Conference Call.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Right?
I played 2, just not 3.
Okay. All right, so we'll stick to 2 then. Conference Call. You would shoot. It had bullets coming in from every direction, right? Then you'd have another Hyperion weapon, the Butcher. You shoot, it would shoot differently, right? The Heartbreaker, Hyperion as well, but this time this shotgun would heal you, right? Since it was a Hyperion by Moxie, right? An NPC. So if we had something like that, let's say a Vectis, a legendary Vectis, right? Because best sniper in the game. A legendary Vectis. Right now, our regular Vectis Prime has two rounds in the magazine and deals bonus headshot.
Mhm.
So if we have a legendary Vectis, right, it would still give us that 2 shots. But now if you headshot, right, you have a chance of ricocheting bullets and hitting other heads, like Pack Seeker, but more devastating, right? Since it's legendary, it's unique to this weapon. So this would incentivize you to go for them headshots, right? And then like, oh my god, this would be so good on a frame like
Chroma.
Hero. Okay.
Hero 2, yes.
Because you're going for headshots, right? Use your condemn, right? You got your covenant buff, your red critting, ricocheting bullets all over, and guess what? It will turn Hero into a fucking like a frame that everybody would want to play. Like, oh shit, like yeah. But then people will be like, oh, now this weapon needs to be nerfed. But legendary weapons will be like something very high tier. It'd require you a long time to get. You'd have to craft this. You'd have to do this type of achievement. You have to sacrifice certain resources, certain components, right, just to achieve this rare weapon. So people who are, let's say, veterans who've spent a lot of time in the game, right, it's basically rewarding them.
That I like, as long as, one, it's not something that eventually just gets fucking nerfed down like they did for Helmet System, bumping it down from MR15 to 8, and as long as it's something that you can't just outright buy from the fucking market.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
Otherwise,
And
I at least on paper, I like that idea. In practice, I'm not sure, but I'm leaning towards I like it, but I'm a little bit on how it could be done.
they would have to like tweak or balance some things, but it's just a concept.
Mm-hmm.
Like take a look at freaking what are these things called, the Eidolon shards. Once you've maxed out your focus, you have nothing else to spend them on. Like boom, Eidolon shards, and basically like I have like right now, if I come I'm in the game, so I'm having a look. Let's see here. Focus conversion. I have 400 million focus with Eidolon shards, right?
Jesus.
and I have nothing to like. I can't do anything with these Eidolon shards. If we had
Infested
like a way
focus,
to
just
use it
watch.
yeah, if they rework focus or give us a way to do something else, like use it as a currency to get, I don't know, an Umbral Forma. All right.
I don't know how I feel about that, honestly.
I know. I'm just spitballing here, but
I know.
give us something to do with this, with these Eidolon shards. Like, what do like nothing else to do with them?
It's just for collecting, kind of like how we have like millions of fucking alloy plates that we've been doing nothing with until now. Apparently, we can feed them to Helminth, which finally is about fucking time to give us a resource sink. Because ever since, or at least until now, it's just been, oh, here's a new tile set, here's a new resource, here's a new open world, here's new resources to grind for. No, everything you already have is useless.
Yeah. Finally, we have a use for Tellurium now, which I saw.
Yep.
Oh, damn, that's good. But I'm sad about my spores. So I'm gonna have to farm more spores.
Better late than never, but what can you do?
Yeah.